Welcome to the Oracle decks I use the most, part 2. I just have another set of 4 Oracle decks, and I'm just going to bring us right on down so we can look at them. These are the ones that, once again, I use regularly in my readings, and they are on my desk. So you can see I have my desk over here, and I have them. I travel with them if I can, depending on where I go. So these 4 next ones come in. As I said, I'm not doing them in any particular order. It is just how I just pulled them out. So this is the Tao Oracle, and it's by Ma Deva Padma. And it is really looking at the I Ching. And now this deck I had this deck and it took me a while to start using it. So I used it more in my own development. And then I started this year bringing it forward in my readings. And now I find it a very powerful, a very powerful part of the readings. I like this deck for the artwork. I like this deck for the words that are attached. So I will often use the words in my reading just so a person can see for themselves with their own soul, their own intuition, what they are called to listen to. And this is the reason for me that it took me a while because this is how thick this book is. This book is humongous. But what I love about it is it really gives you what's happening. It tells you what's going on, and it gives you different ways that you can read. So this is the I Ching part over here, and they put other symbols in as well. And it just looks at the back so that you can see the different symbols, numbers, and how they're all tying together. And now this is also why it took me a while. So for any one card, so this is card 18, it has all of this information, which is beautiful. It has in-depth information for each card. And then it talks about the changes in line 1, line 2, line 3, so bottom and all the way to the top line. And so it gets you to contemplate for yourself what is happening. So it is a very powerful deck. I work with women in transition, women going through big changes in their life. And I can tell you this deck is powerful. So you can either use it. Some people really love having the words, so you can use it that way. Or you can go even more deeply with the book itself. And I think any time that we're able to contemplate, any time that we're able to dig deeper into our spirituality, our psyche, the way that we think about the world, and if we can do that through oracle decks, I think that's amazing. And this deck has pushed me in so many different ways, which is why then I brought it in. And really, I am finding its voice in my reading. I like it in the overall. So I prefer it in the overall, not necessarily bringing me the energy of that line or that quarter or that question. So it's more in the overall part because I find you can connect to the meaning in a big 10,000-foot view way. It's very helpful that way. That's what I have found. Now, next is the Lantern Oracle. This deck for me has been so important in my shadow work, in my kindly working at how I need to grow at a spiritual level, in falling in love with my own soul, my own body, my own mind, my own journey. And the artwork has been such a deep part of that. So you'll see the artwork, and it has a few words. So this is transitions that go with it. The artwork is absolutely stunning. And you can see yourself in the pictures. Once again, that's what's important when I'm reading for other people, when I'm reading online, when I'm reading in person, is that people can see themselves in here and can understand what's going on for themselves. And I find the words in here very powerful. Like, this is about enough, inner life. This is about metamorphosis. And she's got a little bit of happening. No, she didn't have happening. This is wishful expectations, fate, destiny, that idea. Smoke and mirrors, powerful image, voice, radical history, trusting tricksters, emptied. Just look at the artwork. It is powerful, powerful. So I love this deck. It's always going to stay with me as I read. And the thing that I like how they set up their guidebook. They set up their guidebook in maiden, mother, guardian, and crone. So it gets to you to think about women at different parts of their life journey. And I really loved that. I love they have their keywords, and then they have their information, and then they have the main message. So that could be like an affirmation. It's just the point of this card is this. So I have also found working with the guidebook very powerful in my healing. And another aspect in working with cards, when you pull for yourself only, you will find that actually there are cards you never see in this deck. Like, they are never pulled for me. So keys to intimacy, I have never had that card pulled for me. So when I go through, so every once in a while, I have to just flip through my Oracle deck, and I just have to flip through the images because those images don't seem to come out, which is so interesting. And when you read for other people, they do. So when you do it for yourself, and that's also a bit of another technique you can do, is you can actually consciously choose an oracle card to work with. Like, you can flip through and you can say, what is the energy that I'm having right now? What is the energy if you're feeling emptied, if you're feeling that you're women supporting women, if you feel that you're vulnerable and that you're building strength in feeling vulnerable, then you can actually look at the meaning of the card. And then from there, you can journal, you can do a meditation, you can even pull other cards. So you could actually consciously choose which card you're going to work with in the energy that you're going to work. That's another way you can work with oracle cards. I was interested in learning about numerology. I was really interested in knowing more. And I'm going to have her on my podcast, Andrea McCallan. She works a lot with numerology, and she recommended this deck. And as well, Michelle Buchanan has a book about numerology. So I bought both. And this is where they're quite simple. They just have the geometric shapes, and they just have the word underneath. So you can use it like that, and you can see that's how I do use it in my readings. I go from there. When I first started, though, I would open up the book and I would really look at what they were talking about. So in 11, that's individuality. And from Michelle Buchanan's perspective, what is this about? What is this number? What's going on? And every card does have an affirmation. So if you like to work with affirmations, then they're inside the card deck. And I love using this one, once again, in my overall part of the reading. So when you look at the big picture, what's going on, I find the numerology kind of gives me a big archetype to look at. I just recently did the unboxing for Feyood Oracle. I absolutely love this artist, Mary Feywood. She's on Instagram. Her art is incredible. And she, once again, similar to the Lantern Oracle, has artwork for the maiden, mother, and crone in a very powerful, mystical way tied to nature. So I've just got this deck and I'm just learning its voice. So I did do the walkthrough, but Mary paints these herself. So she is an artist. and she paints everything through her own connection to the land around her in Holland and her own inspiration about powerful women in the world and mystical connections, witchy connections. It has a bit of a witchy vibe that way. Lily of the Valley, the inner child. She's just really a beautiful artist, and I've had her artwork with me for so long, and I couldn't wait. She just in December 2024 is when I got this deck. So this is brand new, translated from Dutch into English. So if you're interested in one of these, they are worth getting. And so this is also how I will bring in Oracle decks. So I had been working with these ones for a while. So it's easy for me to bring in a new Oracle deck. And right now I'm tending to use it in the overall meaning and not necessarily use it for the individual just at this time, because it allows me to understand the overarching meanings of each card from an archetypal perspective. So yeah, these are these 4 beautiful card decks. I will put their information below should this be something that you're interested in purchasing for yourself. I'd love to know if you use these decks, how you use them, and how you find the voice. Until next time, keep leading with your soul. And I'm going to be moving into part 3.